15 tips to help you get a second date after your first one. Modern dating. It's not as easy as it used to be to ask the cute girl next door to the high school dance and then start dating her. With dating apps, social media, and the chance of meeting your future Mr. or Mrs. at the grocery store, the dating scene has changed a lot. Because reaching for the same bag of baby carrots is the perfect grocery aisle conversation starter. But it doesn't matter how much the dating world changes. People are people. We all want to meet new people and have fun. And if either of those two things comes out of a first date, well, that's a pretty good deal. So, whether you're ready to jump back into dating after a long break or you're just dipping your toes in for the first time, there are lots of ways to connect and have a great time on a first date. See in this video, the 15 tips that will help you feel calm and confident on your first date, and give you the best chance of getting a second one. 1. Choose the right place for the first date. When planning a first date, you don't want to pick a place that's too fancy, too loud, or where you can't talk, like a movie. On a first date, the goal is to see how well you get along, so it's important to talk and enjoy each other's company. The best place for a first date is somewhere lighthearted and easygoing. You don't want to meet someone for the first time in a formal restaurant or a busy amusement park. Think about going to a coffee shop or bar for a drink and a chat. And if you and your date seem to be getting along, you can step it up by going to dinner that night or suggesting a walk or smoothie date the next morning. 2. Date safely. Safety should always be your number one concern, especially when you're online dating. It's so important for both men and women to be careful when they date. We don't want to scare you, but remember that you don't know the person you're going out with. On a first date, it's best to meet in a public place where people can see you. Tell a friend where you're going and when you'll be back. You could even tell them where you are so that if they haven't heard from you by a certain time, they can check in and see where you are. And unless you know the person you're going on a date with well, don't tell them your home or work address unless you already know them well. We'll say it again, don't give out your address. Once you know you can trust them, you can let them pick you up at your house or drop you off there. But in the beginning, someone who doesn't know you doesn't need to know where you live. 3. Dress to make you feel good and comfortable. Okay, let's lighten the mood a bit by answering a very important question: what should you wear on a first date? Well, it's always a good idea to wear something you feel good about. But if you want to make a good first impression, you should also try to look nice. Think about how your first date will feel and what you should wear. Ladies, those stiletto heels might not be right for a coffee date at Starbucks, but flats are always a good choice. And men, instead of sweatpants, put on a nice pair of jeans and a shirt that has been ironed, and add a blazer if you want to look snazzy. 4. Relax on your date. Does love feel like a battlefield? Maybe you feel lonely on the inside because you're still single and don't want to be, or maybe you have a huge crush on someone and want it to lead to something more. Just take a deep breath and take a moment to calm down. Here's a good piece of advice: the point of a first date isn't to decide if you want to marry this person, it's to decide if you want to go on a second date. All done. So, try to have fun and enjoy your time with another person and getting to know them. It's great if you click. And don't force it if you don't feel like it. This is not the end of everything. There is a lot of other fish in the sea, just like the old saying says. 5. Give compliments that show you care. If the compliment is sincere, both guys and girls appreciate it. Wow, you look great is a great thing to say to your date. But it can be a little awkward if you give too many compliments during the date. So, if you're worried about coming on too strong, compliment your date on something other than their looks, like their laugh, sense of humor, intelligence, or great taste in music. 6. Ask good questions. Prepare a few questions before your date so you don't have to struggle to start a conversation when you're sitting next to someone you just met. Instead of the usual get-to-know-you questions, do you want to explain why blue is your favorite color again? Here are some creative ideas that will help you get to know your date better. What was the last book you read, and what did you think of it? What's the best thing you've ever been given? What's something you've always wanted to do but never have? What is your favorite family memory? How do you feel about making a budget? Wink, wink. Have you ever been somewhere crazy? What's the best advice anyone has ever given you? What's the worst advice anyone has ever given you? How do you calm down when you're stressed? What makes you happy right now? How would your perfect day go? Don't forget to listen carefully to what they say, and don't ask so many questions that it feels like a job interview or an interrogation. Just have fun and be interested in the other person. 7. Have a dating budget. It's fine to spend money on a date, but you should budget a certain amount each month for it. Just like with any other part of your budget, you should be careful not to spend more than you can afford. And if your date criticizes you for sticking to your budget, that's not your problem. The thing is, living on a budget doesn't make you cheap, it makes you a good steward of your money, which can be hard to do as a single person. And someone who sticks to a budget sounds like someone who might be good for marriage, no matter who pays for the date. Also, there are many ways to spend less money on dates without having less fun. 8. Watch how you use your body. Leaning forward, making eye contact, and smiling are all simple ways to show that you are confident, open, and interested in the conversation. On the other hand, crossing your arms, looking around the room, or fidgeting can make you look bored or nervous and send the message that you don't want to be on the date. One more tip for a first date: put your phone in your pocket or bag and try not to look at it unless you have to. On a date, it's not fun to be with someone who is always checking their phone or messages. Your date will be impressed by how present you are and feel like they are seen and heard. 9. Use positive language. Paying attention to how you talk means a lot more than just not using swear words. It all comes down to not talking badly about other people, yourself, or your own life. Words have power and can change how people feel. When you complain and pick on other people, it shows a lot about your attitude and sense of self-worth. And acting like Eeyore and moping around can ruin your date. You don't have to act fake on your date, but you should focus on building others up with your words, being grateful, and keeping a positive attitude. 10. Look out for warning signs. Even though bulls like to charge headfirst into red flags, that doesn't mean you should too. And when you like someone, it can be easy to ignore red flags and other signs that this person might not be a good fit. When you're first getting to know someone, it's best to pay close attention to red flags so you can decide how to proceed, and avoid a dating disaster down the road. Red flags can be as small as someone interrupting you too often or as big as someone crossing your physical or emotional boundaries. Make sure you do everything you can to keep yourself safe, no matter what. You don't have to put up with anything that scares you or makes you feel bad, okay? 11. Don't force things. You might have thought of everything for a great, romantic date, but don't forget to leave room for the unexpected. You and your date might decide that you'd rather get ice cream than go to the art museum. That's fine, and it can be a lot of fun. It's important to be with someone easygoing and flexible enough to go with the flow when plans change, which they will. Don't avoid talking about hard or personal things. Conversations on a first date should be fun and low stress, if possible. But if a hard subject comes up, don't feel like you have to change it. You want to know this person better and see if you're a good match. And sometimes the best way to do that is to talk about hard topics like politics, faith, family history, and other important parts of life. For example, if you're religious, you might want to talk about that with anyone you're going out with. If they have a problem with your spirituality, it's better to find out sooner rather than later so you don't waste each other's time. 13. Be who you are. Going out on a date with a new person can make you feel awkward. This is normal. Many people, especially those who worry a lot or are hard on themselves, wonder, do they like me? But you should also think, do I like them? Remember that you have a lot to offer, and it's just as much their choice as it is yours to decide who to date. The truth is that not everyone likes you and not everyone likes you. The right person will find your quirks and flaws endearing, so you don't have to fake them to make a stranger like you. 14. Check in with them after your date. It's always nice to follow up with someone after a first date and thank them for their time and for taking you out, or letting you take them out. This is also the time to be clear and honest if you weren't feeling it. It's never easy to say that you don't think this will work out, but it's the polite thing to do. On the other hand, if you think this could lead to something, keep going on dates. Why wait so long to hang out with them again if you want to spend more time with them? Tell people what you think and how you feel in a clear, kind way. 15. Think about what you've learned. Whether you decide to go out on your date again or not, think about what you learned from this first date. What worked well, and what would you change for next time? What about this person made you admire them? Did anything weird or strange happen to you? All of these questions are very important to ask when you're dating. And we hope that all of your experiences, good, bad, and fun, will help you have good relationships and learn more about yourself. How to start a conversation on a first date. With the right attitude, dating can be one of the most fun and educational times of your life. You'll find out what you like to do, what qualities you like in other people, and how you can grow and develop your relationships with yourself and others.